Just want to make sure you're prepared. Sometimes we need to know what Pokemon sound like, so I just want to make sure we understood what Pikachu sounds like. I also want to be very clear, this is all in one take. So I hope that's clear for you. That is what Pikachu sounds like when it comes out. One of those, anyway. Thankfully, we don't have to hear Pikachu in the Master Ball Challenge Cup. Just get a bunch of random Pokemon. They all have random moves, not necessarily determined by anything in particular. Like with Alakazam, I will either have Psybeam or Psychic. Oh, that's a Charizard. I also might have Thunder Punch, or Shadow Ball, or Thief. There's the Thief. Not what you want to hear in a 1v1 against Charizard. I'll be honest, I don't know if that 2 KOs me. I feel like it might. Oh, that's really bad. Oh, maybe not. The bad news is they're going to go for their fire move now. And I do think 2 wing attacks and an Ember would KO at this point. And I didn't get lucky. No Psybeam confusion. I did! What? Okay, still go for this wing attack. That surprises me. That surprises me that even with a Sun boost, it's better to hit the physical side of Alakazam than the special. We got very lucky. We got the KO. Maybe Charizard's weaker than I remember in terms of like physical prowess. I actually did not expect that to not 3 a KO. What am I facing right now? This is not a very typical first team. The good news is I put the Sun up, so there's a lot of good Pokemon I can switch to now. Because now the Sun will resist the water for me. Which is kind of important for something like Aerodactyl, but unfortunately, I will have to switch again. And I don't know if I'll have the Sun for this switch. Okay, I do. Unfortunately, I cannot stay in, and if I switch to a Grass type, I won't have access to Solar Beam. Aerodactyl can definitely beat whatever's on their end, so we need to switch. This is a great switch. Oh my goodness.
What's this? No, that didn't connect.
Iron Tail was stronger than Surf in the Sun. That surprises me.
How will this Pokemon switch affect the flow of battle? What next?
One of us used Surf. It's probably me.
Not very effective.
I think Kingdra would be faster than Golduck.
A horrible Screech.
Especially if they're gonna go for Screech.
Their defense stat went down.
Surf left could be Twister right, could be Twister up.
How's that? Yes, it's a hit.
That surprises me to be Dragon Breath Surf. Just the two best possible moves. I don't think Dragon Breath would 2 a KO after a Surf.
What'll it do? That's it.
Definitely KO's next turn, though.
There's the attack.
We'll be taking a
The stat changer
Ooh.
succeeded.
Big hit there.
One Pokemon is still capable of going on, but the other one looks tired.
Based on that,
Here comes Dragon Breath.
we are much healthier than I would have expected after a -2 Iron Tail. But I do need to recognize that I am a -3.
There's only one Pokemon left.
I am currently -3 in defense.
Oh, it's Sizzle. This is the last
That's
Pokemon.
about what I was afraid of. I should be fine, though. Swift might actually 2 a KO here.
There it goes.
We just need to make sure we 2 a KO first.
That inflicted some damage.
Also, I've got bad news.
What's this? That didn't accomplish
This is
much.
a top row team.
Sparks are flying
I do
from
not need to
both
see any of their
competitors.
Pokemon. This team can win the whole run.
What's next? Great hit.
Ooh, that quick attack almost got me.
Ride that surf.
Very good.
Yes, it's a hit.
They're cheering, so we got the KO. Granted, the announcer said surf, right? Saying the name of the move means it's gonna KO.
And there goes
Or at least that it's in range of a KO. We had a chance to not KO there, but we got there. Yeah, no, this team's insane. I genuinely have no reason to look for any other Pokemon. It could be a little dicey on the third fight with just Alakazam. But Alakazam guaranteed has a move that's up. So I had Sunny Day right. I could have Fire Punch up. I could have Thunder Punch up. I could have Ice Punch up. I might have Hyper Beam, that's what I'm afraid of. In any case. I really don't see how I would not pick this Pokemon, these 3 Pokemon for every single fight.
the Pokeball contains
Aerodactyl's
their
great,
leadoff
Kingdra's great.
Pokemon on the field to start the battle.
Alakazam is about as good as I can hope for. So there's very little reason for me to discover a Fire type, discover an Electric type. Right, that might be helpful, but we already have everything we need. Why waste the effort?
That's
We have
it.
2 great special attackers and 1 great physical attacker. Really good range on all the Pokemon too. Like if this was any other water type other than Kingdra with this exact moveset, I would be making an effort to find more Pokemon, right? Learn about our 4th, learn about our 5th.
There's the attack.
But this Kingdra is everything.
That is
It didn't to a KO Scizor like it did last time.
how's that?
So we're taking a little bit of Sandstorm damage here, unfortunately.
Sandstorm rips and tears. The white-hot battle continues.
For some reason, I'm very nervous Dragon Breath won't KO, so I'm gonna go for Surf.
Ride that surf.
There's no reason not to go for Surf, realistically.
Right. That's a hit.
But one of the benefits of knowing when a move is going to KO is that the announcer will say the name of the move.
The next Pokemon needs to
I
be
can't go
prepared.
into the particulars, but it's helpful to have that knowledge
Oh, it's right.
in the middle of an attack. The only times it really comes up will be for things like Protect. But if they're protecting, they're probably not doing anything else. So it doesn't really benefit you to know. But that would be one of the
Oh,
reasons.
what's this?
I know this is going to KO just because facts. Right. Right on against a Surf.
A single hit
Washed
brings
away.
it back. Is there any way of stopping this incredible Pokemon force? Oh, it's Donphan!
So like right here, it'd be helpful to know if this KO'd or not. If for whatever reason it went for Protect.
The number of remaining Pokemon is 3 to 1.
I guess that actually makes sense. Like in a spot like this. It would tell me if it would be safer to switch to like Aerodactyl, right? Stall out the fight. In this hypothetical world where they went for Protect, I took more Sandstorm damage, and I didn't know if Surf was a KO or not. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. There's a very small advantage to not getting the KO announcer, the KO name from the announcer, for any particular fight, where you don't know if it's going to KO. So minute. I think a good example would be like if I had an Espeon that would not be able to KO Heracross. I already know that calculation, but that would just be the example of it. If it went for an Endure, well, I guess not Endure, but Protect, right? Just flat out. Let me pick my team while we're yapping. Kingdra's great for this. You would think Aerodactyl's bad against a mostly water team, but Aerodactyl's advantage is being able to hit the ice types, the fighting types, the flying types, very prominent water types. It's also good against Jinx, but I neglected to lead with Aerodactyl. For what it's worth, I don't know where my Ancient Power is, so it wouldn't have been a cut and dry move. If I'm going for Hyper Beam here, this is really bad. And opposing Kingdra is also pretty bad. We do have Thunder Punch, and we got the crit. This is even more evidence that I don't need to pick anything else. Like, Thunder Punch, Psybeam, Alakazam is kind of insane. Let's see what you got.
What's this?
One.
Great hit.
If it weren't for the fact that they have another Pokemon in the back, it would actually be really smart to switch to Aerodactyl here, tank the waterfall. That way it'll automatically be switched in for the Jinx. But we still don't know Ancient Power. Even if we knew Ancient Power, that'd be sketchy. And again, this is assuming they didn't already have their third Pokemon, which they might go to here. Back to Jinx. The thing is, they're going to go for an Ice move here. I guess we just stay in. We need one turn for Aerodactyl to find the Rock move. It's doing more damage than I would have expected. Icy Wind dodge is insane. Alright, after this next Thunder Punch, it's reasonable to switch to Kingdra. This is claiming to be a 3 KO. The major concern here is I am going to be slower this turn. We know that the Icy Wind dealt less than 30%. One of us is at half, more likely them. That actually convinces me that this Thunder Punch will not KO. Thief might be stronger, but I sincerely doubt that. After this turn, I might go to Kingdra. It's close.
What's this? That did little damage.
See, that's the misleading part. That time it did less.
Both Pokemon show signs of fatigue.
Let's go Kingdra now, try and get another continue. I'm a little worried about psychic damage, but hopefully it's just Confusion Icy Wind. So the announcer had a voice line that said the hit was kind of like okay, right? It didn't say it was bad. They predicted the switch appropriately. And they should be faster. Good news is they definitely don't 2 a KO. Crit will do it, of course, but on a natural 2 a KO. An ideal situation for their last would be Poliwrath. Because Poliwrath would be incentivized to go for a fighting move here. And then I can switch to Aerodactyl and go for 2 wing attacks. We'd have to find it first, of course, but Poliwrath also less likely to have a good water move. Twister's fine. If I get the Paralyze, I get to continue. It's okay if we lose the Kingdra. We still have 2 continues in the bank. It's might 2 a KO. We live the Aurora Beam. It'd be really funny to win this fight. After a very sketchy switch. So here's a good example of what I mean. I'm just going to talk ad nauseum about this. If, for whatever reason, this Cloyster right now went for Protect, I would know that Dragon Breath was already a KO. If I didn't hear the announcer say, "Here comes Dragon Breath," I'd know it isn't a KO. And therefore, I would know that if I want to get a continue, it would make sense to switch. Granted, the switches I have are not great in this moment, but the benefit of hearing that KO basically only matters if the opponent takes a turn off. If they go for Fly, if they go for Dig, if they go for Protect. Something where I know whether or not it's in range. So having the ability to hear that is a reason to pick a move that you know KOs, but you don't want to waste the sound of it KOing. That was what was happening in the third fight. I didn't want to waste that Surf was a KO on Caesar, when I could know that if I KO with Dragon Breath, I'll have that Surf KO announcer line banked. I hope those air quotes really helped. Aerodactyl's a switch-in for this one, I think. I think we lead. Make sure I pick the right order. Kingdra, Aerodactyl, and then Alakazam. Alakazam could be a little dicey in this fight. It is good against the fighting types, but it's so bad against the normal types. We lead Kingdra for every potential. There's the Blissey. Very scary. So now we gotta go into Aerodactyl. We find out if we are a male or female Kingdra here. So all Blissies are female. And they will go for Attract. Curse. Fascinating. I might have Swift based on that. Maybe Headbutt. We really need to start getting boosts. And we have to watch out for Thunder. Iron Tail. Just Psychic. Unfortunately, I had Endure. Endure left. Not a good start. I think Ancient Power is like 100% down. Swing Attack. I'm happy to be proven wrong. I'm glad I have Wing Attack instead of Fly. Yeah, that crit Psychic could be a sign that I will get 3-hit KO'd here. I think I really need an Ancient Power boost here. Oh dear, that is not good. It's not a KO still. This works the other way too. In terms of being able to hear the attack being a KO or not. Though it doesn't make a difference for them. Yeah, that's not gonna KO. It's in range of a normal Ancient Power, but because of the +1 defense, not gonna be enough. Really unfortunate to lose Aerodactyl here. I think I have to go back to Kingdra. Kingdra must be female based on this turn of events. I'm not brave enough to find my Headbutt. I think I have Headbutt, sincerely, but it might be Swift. If I have an attack, I think it's down. It could be right, but I'm leaning closer to it being my down move. No continue sweep, unfortunately, losing to that crit plus spit F drop. Basically the only way we lost that, by the way. And this is why I didn't want to go Alakazam. Any normal type just smokes Alakazam in a 1v1. Even the fighting types have an okay time against Alakazam, I would say. They all live one side beam. Heracross threatens with Mega Horn. Machamp does a big chunk with Strength. Primeape hits with Thrash pretty hard. Poliwrath would be the best opportunity for me. Alakazam can beat Poliwrath, no question. We have been attracted, so I'm inclined to believe this is a male Ursaring. We did break through. I don't think this is 2 KOs. Ursaring's got a nice chunky 250. There's no way Surf does more than 100. Okay, maybe no more than 120. There's the Thrash I was worried about. I'm gonna waste my Never mind. I was gonna waste my Dragon Breath KO here. Oh wait, we already know Surf KO, so we weren't gonna hear it anyway. Yeah, let's go for Surf. No reason not to go for Surf. If I was listening closely, I could hear if they were confused or not. I think they did not get confused. I think they got the 3 turns. Oh, dang. We did get the confused after 2 hits. They did not confuse themselves. So now, best case scenario, their last is Poliwrath, but knowing my luck, it's Snorlax. And my only way to beat Snorlax is to confuse it. I'm very confident Thunder Punch KO'd there, so I should have done Thunder Punch. But their last could be Dodrio. It's not necessarily a fighting type. I'm hoping it's a fighting type. Guaranteed to a KO. Nice. I really think Hyper Beam does not KO. That would be the main concern here. I think Hyper Beam does like 90%. It does not one shot. Just strength. Crit my one shot. So now I just want to fade Bright Powder, Quick Claw. It's always the 2 things I fear most. And we didn't get it. We got the fight. We didn't get the Bright Powder, Quick Claw. Duron Aerodactyl is weird, but all things considered, I'm very happy with my squad and the move coverage they have. Sunny Day's a little awkward on Alakazam. Doesn't really benefit my team currently. It benefited us in the first fight, but it doesn't benefit us long term. I think we lead Kingdra. No, what am I doing? We lead Alakazam. Nope, Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl, Kingdra, Alakazam. Can we get another Charizard? Nope, just Magmar. Magmar does live this, but that comes with good news. You cannot get a boost on an attack that KOs.
It jacked up a couple of stats at once. The sunlight has turned
Oh, thank you kindly for that. Here's an actual reason to switch your moves. Ancient Power only has 5 PP. Granted, at +1, I think I sweep any remaining fire types in this fight. I don't need to worry about conserving PP. But you never know, maybe they Quick Claw. Maybe they protect. There could be reasons to preserve the PP. I think Arcanine is one of the few Pokemon that lives Ancient Power here. So if I had to Ancient Power the Magmar, Ancient Power the Arcanine, Ancient Power the Arcanine. See? I could also get burned, for what that's worth. The burn would mean that the next Ancient Power wouldn't KO. And if I ran out of the Ancient Powers to KO, then I'd have to Wing Attack, which I'll probably KO at that point, but... This switching up the moves makes sense, more than any of the others. This one's more practical, I'll say. Applicable, not practical. Both are practical, but this is more applicable. The very rare triple fire fight. You basically never see this. It's crazy. Also, we won't know if we're burned until this turn. We were not burned.
site has grown weaker.
There's one more benefit to going for wing attack. It is a marginally faster animation, I think, than ancient power. So that seems fine. I bet you wondered why I only picked 3 Pokemon when I could have chosen all 6. We're currently sitting at 4 continues going into the 6th fight. When you give me Psybeam, Thunder Punch, Surf, Dragon Breath, I'm still in shock. And your typical Aerodactyl, like, I cannot lose. The bottom row could be Heracross, Jolteon. I can't think of a good third Pokemon. Snorlax. Snorlax would probably be on this team. Like, that would fit the logic of getting your random team. I could have Heracross, Jolteon, Snorlax in my bottom row right now. And we'll just never know. It would also be a shame if someone in my bottom row was a shiny. You can see right now on the screen, at least hopefully, whatever your Pokemon you see there, that is their coloration. Sometimes they're colored to something that is just a small, slight discoloration, not necessarily a shiny variant. But there's obvious ones, right? We had a shiny Heracross show up in the Team Picker a month or 2 ago. That one was very obviously a shiny, because Heracross does not have a shiny, like a coloration. So it could only be shiny Heracross. It was very clearly shiny. That pink hue to it. So right now I'll know if Surf KOs. According to this, it does not. So in a weird way, I could go for Dragon Breath right now. I think I'm just gonna go for the Surf and hope I KO for some reason. But I do think it's correct to go for Dragon Breath here. He's excited about the damage though.
The white-hot battle continues.
This is a really funny switch. That crit is doing a lot of damage there, unfortunately. But this is the safest Aerodactyl switch in my life. Because if they're faster, I will hit Ancient Power after. And if I'm faster, the next turn will be his last turn. But instead, we win here. Alright, Dream Team right here, right now. Flareon. Victreebel. I'll take Executor. I do 2 KO this, unless the last time that I KO'd a Executor this way was because I had Sharp Beak. Oh, but I crit. Let's find out now. Nice. I don't know if I have Sharp Beak or not. We'll find out at the end. Let me show my team before we get to the end. Now, best Pokemon, Flareon. Sure. I can beat Gengar with Alakazam is the good news. Okay. I didn't hear any of the beeps. I was spamming my moves so quickly. You know, we are due for a Zap Cannon hit, so I'm surprised that did not hit, actually. But now we also know Zap Cannon doesn't KO. Nor should it. We've only taken 1 fly, right? Or essentially full health. Zap Cannon finally hit. This is the hard part. I don't think Shadow Ball will one-shot. I know we outspeed.
Here comes the Pokemon switch.
Maybe they go for Ice Punch, maybe they freeze. Maybe they just go for another Zap Cannon. And if they hit, really bad. Good. Okay, it's taking so long. I know Alakazam has one of those longer animations after getting hit. It could be scary. That is 5 continues.
The last Pokemon
Going into
goes
the
down.
7th fight? No, 6 no, 5 continues. 5 continues.
And there goes the
The
battle.
most continues I've earned is 7. I've had 2 runs where if I lost a Pokemon, I treated it as if it was fully fainted for the full run. And in that run, I had a Poliwrath, I think, faint. It was either Donphan or Poliwrath, one of the 2 runs I'm thinking of, on the 6th fight, and then I went through the rest of the run. I had 7 perfect wins. This one we lost the perfect win on the 4th fight. Very scary, Ursaring. That Blissey too, really lucky. I mean, a crit and a Spidef drop, super, super valuable. The crit was necessary for the last Psychic to be a KO, or the last special defense drop was necessary for the last Psychic to be a KO. Maybe not. In any case. Kingdra. Alakazam's awkward to pick for this fight, but Alakazam can be good against Starmie, random Cloyster, Charizard.
Remaining Pokemon still look ready for more.
It's fine against Exeggutor. Gengar lead. It would be very foolish to switch into a Shadow Ball right now.
That Pokemon must not have been the right choice.
But I don't know any other Pokemon that Alakazam is more equipped to beat. And this is my best opportunity to beat it. 1 double team. So let's take it.
Ah, it raised its evasiveness.
I'm not as inclined to switch to a Dark type after 1 setup, but it's not impossible.
Wow! It's super effective.
Could also confuse.
Vicious attack.
Okay.
Drill no weakness.
Cards on the table. Do we hit?
They're both
An Iron
hanging
Tail.
tough.
Pretty sure that's the accuracy.
The first decided. Yes, it's a
Kind of wanted to go for Thief.
There it is. Knockout.
Not for the reasons I've been talking about this entire run. I kind of wanted to go to Thief just because it's quicker to hear if you miss. The Psybeam animation fully plays out, and then you hear the miss.
Oh, it's Starmie.
Wow. Called it. We're not going to get to continue, but we are definitely going to win this fight. This Thunder Punch is very important.
There's the attack. Bam!
And depending on their water move, we might even live here, actually.
There's Bumblebee.
Okay, I'll be honest.
Good hit. Oh, and down it goes.
I would have expected to live Bubble Beam. I was like, probably die to Waterfall, probably die to Surf,
What Pokemon will appear
definitely die to
next?
Hydro Pump. I will say I'm surprised Bubble Beam KO'd.
Okay.
But maybe Shadow Ball is doing 75%, in which case I'm not surprised.
Two Pokemon
Got off 1
remain
Thunder
on
Punch.
top.
It's very favorable for us to win this.
A brilliant flash.
I prefer to hear Flash over Minimize
Accuracy is down.
in this case, because I do think if I get unlucky
Here
enough,
comes Dragon Breath. That's
we
it.
didn't. If we got unlucky enough, it would be better for the Aerodactyl to face a 0 evasion
Just one
Starmie than it would be
Pokemon
to
remains.
lose the Starmie and then
Oh, it's pouring on
it be,
This is the
500,
last Pokemon.
5 stages.
The number of remaining
It's not a great
Pokemon
idea to
is
stay
2 to
in
1.
with an accuracy drop, but it is faster if we don't miss.
No, that didn't connect.
There's the miss. Let's see what move they have.
What's
Coverage, yeah.
Oh, that's a miss.
This makes switching even harder is the issue.
Crowd's excitement is building.
I can't really afford to switch to Aerodactyl, because the longer this fight goes on,
Great hit.
the more Zap Cannons they have to hit, and that only has 5 PP.
What'll it do? Oh my, missed again.
So every miss is just
The heated
a little bit
action
more of a
continues.
chance that Aerodactyl will not get hit by it. Even if I missed 4 times. which I don't expect to. But if I missed 4 times, as long as they didn't hit before they finally ran out of PP, it would mean Aerodactyl would have the guaranteed KO. And look at that. Beautiful knowledge gained. We have a Paralyzed Cure Berry on our Kingdra. This is the KO. 2 misses, but now they only have 2 Zap Cannons. They do have Blizzard. This is a very equipped Porygon. Like, they do not want to lose to Aerodactyl.
What about this?
Nice. On to our next.
There are no more remaining Pokemon. And there goes the battle.
Let's take a look at our top row and our bottom row. See what could have been. Excuse me. Oops. Okay, we're good. Volume didn't break. Top row, Kingdra. Aerodactyl to switch into for Heracross. We don't need to switch for a fire type. We could switch for a grass type, but not necessary. This is the best Kingdra I've had ever. I'm still amazed it doesn't have Twister. I'm still amazed it has Surf. Let's see who's first.
There's the shot. Man, that was
Kingdra is possibly one of our worst matchups, but it's not impossible.
there's the attack.
Just tough.
It's super effective.
Nobody know who's first. Just gotta play it out.
Sparks are flying from both
There is a
competitors.
little bit of information we can gain, assuming they don't also have a Paralyzed Cure Berry.
Drilled a weakness.
If we get paralyzed, we'll know. We'll hear it say it healed itself.
There it goes. A powerful blow. It managed to hang in there.
Now, losing
Both
Kingdra
Pokemon show signs
would be
of
unfortunate if they have, say, Donphan. Rhydon would be really bad right now.
That's it. Oh, it's collapsed.
I'm normally very not afraid of something like Rhydon, but this is a spot where Rhydon will be good.
Eagerly awaiting the appearance of the next
And we did
Pokemon.
lose. Unfortunate. Okay. Let's go Alakazam.
Okay.
Let's go for Psybeam.
Alakazam.
If their dark type is Houndoom, we can do some work here.
One Pokemon is still capable
If their
of
dark type is
going up. The
Umbreon,
other one
we're in
looks
for a long
tired.
fight.
First to sight. Yes, it's a hit. Down it goes. So, what will be the next Pokemon? Oh, it's Umbreon. Two Pokemon
Yeah, let's just
remain
hard
on each
switch.
side.
There's nothing to think about here.
The Pokemon is
I
your
think I have to
first
lead
Pokemon.
Alakazam if this is how the game's gonna go.
Oh, it's Aerodactyl.
This fight's still not over, but
There's the
when we invariably replay this fight, I think that's gonna be the route.
How will this
We're gonna go
newly
for an
switched out Pokemon fare?
Alakazam lead, bait them into switching to Umbreon earlier, and then probably just go directly
The hit
into
lands right off.
Kingdra. Maybe immediately into Aerodactyl. We'll see how this fight goes.
What'll it do? That
This
was a
1v1 will
glancing blow.
inform our next fight.
They're both hanging tough.
Whether or not they can, like, 4-hit KO with Bite, for instance.
What now? That did
Whether we
little
4-hit
damage.
KO. I don't think we do, but it's close.
How's that? A light hit. a fierce battle.
This is really bad if their last is Charizard.
What's this?
So assuming we don't get knocked out here, we'll go for Wing Attack for sure.
There's the attack. The hit glanced right off.
So we're both very weak.
Sparks are flying
I'd
from
be
both
so
competitors.
embarrassed. I'm actually thinking about it now. This probably doesn't KO.
What's next?
It did not. We definitely get 5-hit KO'd by Bite.
It's Mike. That's it. Yes.
Alakazam's taking no damage. We definitely KO with Thunder Punch.
Just one
Let's not kid ourselves
Pokemon
here.
remains.
Best Pokemon in the end would just be Poliwrath, but that's not possible. It's very unlikely. It's not impossible. It's just so unlikely. Another bad Pokemon would be Heracross. Any other fighting type is fine.
What'll it do? That did little damage.
That didn't KO? Okay, Aerodactyl is weaker than I realized. Against
Look at
Umbreon.
that swagger. Oh, it's
That's good information to have.
made it tougher. It corrected its status
Okay.
using a held item.
That is really
One
clutch.
Pokemon is still capable of going on, but
The
the
plus
other one looks
damage doesn't
tired.
help us here.
There, Thunder Punch.
Thief and
Oh, it has no strength
Thunder
left.
Punch are both special moves in this generation. It's based on type, not quality of move. It was only in later gens that Thunder Punch and the like became physical.
Oh, it's Victory Bell. It's down to
That is
last
interesting.
Pokemon now.
Because you're saying to me I win,
They're both hanging
with
tough.
the one caveat that I don't get crit by Sludge Bomb, Quick Clawed, or Breath
There
Cutter.
it goes. A powerful blow.
So don't do any of that?
It's building up power for
Or just give me the free win because you don't have Sludge Bomb.
This showdown appears to be coming to
Should I
an
set it
end.
to Sun? Give him the boost? No, even I'm not that greedy.
Will this do it? Out of there!
Crazy call out.
There are no more remaining
Pretty good
Pokemon.
pace. That's what's gonna happen when you don't have to learn more about your team.
The champion has been decided.
When you just quickly find everything you need and then just pick them for every fight. Right? You don't have to waste time finding your moves. You just have them found. Every relevant thing found. Very solid run. Especially for a loss, right? Do we have a loss in there? No, we didn't have a loss. Anyway. Got blue Aerodactyl, blue wings. Kind of pale Kingdra, right? A little cyan. Blissey, normal. Not the type, the color. Ninetales, a little more yellow than usual. And you can see how this Victory Bell compares to the last one. This one's more green, the last one was more gold. This is like fourth try, third try. Third try. Excellent. I hope you learned a lot today. And frankly, I hope you learned a lot every time you watch any of my videos. If you like that, subscribe. I upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can also check out another video like that one. Until then, take care. Much love. Stay safe.